Last week we talked about self-sabotage. So we started a series of 3 or 4 things about self-sabotage, 3 weeks. And I explained, as I quite often do, about the subconscious mind, and that the subconscious mind's main job is to keep you safe. And it will keep you in a place of ease and comfort wherever it possibly can. And it doesn't understand or think about consequences in the future. It just knows what keeps you safe right now. So we have learned over very long periods of time, right back to our childhood usually, that food is a way that will keep us safe, as in it will soothe us. It's a bit like a dummy from a child. It soothes you. Put the dummy in a child and they quieten down. Put a lollipop in a child and they'll quieten down. And there are physiological reasons for this as well. That particular sugar spikes dopamine in the brain, which means that it increases the reward in our reward centre. So it's a mixture of physiological stuff and ingrained inbuilt stuff that goes back years and years and years. And it's almost impossible to get over that on its own. But our subconscious mind doesn't understand the consequences of eating the food. Now, it's fine for a while, because when we're younger, most of the time we don't have a problem with our self-esteem because we've eaten too much chocolate. We're not necessarily having a problem with our weight. We're not having a problem with our health. But as we get older, we realise that the consequences of eating too much and inappropriately is causing us more pain in our life than not having it. Okay, so the pain of the weight gain, the poor health, the low self-esteem, etc. So we think, right, okay, we try loads of diets. We don't understand why we keep losing a bit of weight, coming back, losing a bit of weight, coming back. So we look into loads of different things, and eventually we think, right, okay, I've heard that this weight loss surgery is great. Loads of people lose the weight with it, keep it off, and I'm going to go and give weight loss surgery a try. And yes, the statistics are that 95% of people that go on a diet and exercise regime will have put every bit of weight that they lost back on at least within the first year after losing it, which is a shocking statistic. Whereas with weight loss surgery, most people have lost 80% of their excess weight within a year and still losing, and keep it off, for a long time. Many for way over 5 years, but the 5-year statistics are that 70% of people keep all of it off, and 10-15% of people put a little bit on, and there are some people that do put it all back on for many reasons, because it's not a one-size-fits-all. But it has much better statistics than ordinary dieting. However, when we have the weight loss surgery, we think it's going to change everything. And everything's well and good in the first few months, even a couple of years, because we physically cannot eat and we've got high motivation towards our goals that are driving us. This is going to work, I'm going to get down to my ideal weight, I'm going to change my life, everything's going to be different, as we always have when we start a new diet. But what happens when our pouch, our sleeve slackens that bit, and when our ghrelin comes back and we start to feel more hunger, when we hit plateaus, or even when we get to our goal weight and the compliments stop and our smaller size is our new normal. So whilst we're losing all the weight, people are going, "You're amazing, you look amazing, oh Amanda, you just look so good. Wow, look at you, haven't you done well?" And although it makes me feel, I'm not very good at taking a compliment, a bit uneasy, it still drives me. It's still like, yes. But I've been, I've lost my weight now for 6.5 years. So people don't do that anymore. They don't comment, because this is the new me. It's what they're used to. And this is the new norm to them. And to be honest with you, it's difficult when all of that stops and you've got nothing to be excited about anymore. It's just like, well, getting up, doing what I've been doing every day, making sure that I don't put the weight back on. There's no driving force as much to stay where you are, because if we haven't worked out what was sabotaging us before, then that sabotage is still there. And if the reasons for change are no longer as strong, and it's natural that the reasons for change diminish when we get to our goal or near our goal, then we need to find reasons for staying changed. Now, our mind forgets the pain we're in. It can't remember. It's a protection mechanism again, but it can't remember how it felt when you were struggling to walk up the stairs, when you couldn't fit in the aeroplane seat, when you couldn't get the new boots on, when you couldn't buy the clothes in an ordinary shop. You know, all of that pain and the health hazards and all of that, it forgets. It's designed to do that. So, for example, if our subconscious mind didn't allow us to forget the pain of childbirth, for example, then we'd never have any more children. In fact, we'd probably never have sex again, because, you know, it can be very, very painful for a lot of people. So our subconscious mind is designed to forget the bad things so that we still get up and go out the door in the morning, so that life's not such a scary place. So, for example, that's why alcoholics will go to meetings and sponsor people, because it reminds them of where they were when they were in their bad times and what pain they were in, so that they don't go back there. Now, we need to find a way of reminding ourselves, or more importantly and even better, we need to find out what our subconscious blocks are, our limiting beliefs, and do something about them. So once we stop losing the weight and we've got to our goal or our plateau where we've decided we're happy being, we're not going to get the same amount of pleasure as we were when we were losing the weight rapidly, and the compliments and buying new clothes, etc. Partly particularly because many of us always believe that when we got to that size 12 or size 14 or waist 32 trousers, whatever it may be for men, that we would feel amazing. Our whole life would change, all our problems would be sorted, and they're not, because we haven't healed from the inside. I don't know how often people will come to me after they've had weight loss surgery, say I'm a size 10, I just still feel size 18, I still don't feel any different. Why don't I feel any different? Why do I still feel miserable? Why don't I feel confident about myself? In fact, I feel less confident at this size than I did before, because I've got different things I don't like about myself now. I've got saggy skin. I've got wrinkles on my face that I didn't have, because they're constantly looking from the outside to make the inside feel better. So it doesn't, we get to that finite number on the scale or whatever it is, and our whole world doesn't necessarily change. For some people, it's amazing, but mainly it's because they've worked on their mindset at the same time. And all our core wounds, the pain, the low self-esteem is still there, because we've been looking for our self-esteem from how we look and for others' reactions. So, for example, external reasons. So our subconscious mind then goes on that pleasure hunt again, and it says, okay, I want that buzz, I don't feel right, I still don't feel right, so what feels good, what's going to do that? And it goes, I know exactly what's going to do that. Chocolate. Always did it, always has done, just a bit, won't do you any harm. And then you start to eat chocolate, and then the craving kicks in and you're eating more. So what you're going to say to yourself, well, I'll just let myself have it once a week. It comes once every 2 days, or once every 3 days, and then once every day, and then twice a day, and then chocolate and biscuits. And before you know it, the weight starts to go back on, and you're sabotaging your success. So, we talked last week, I told you that there were there are 5, I'm going to talk about another one, but 4 main self-sabotages I find in the weight loss patients, or weight loss surgery patients, are: the first one that I said last week, what will other people think? How is my weight loss going to affect other people? Am I going to upset my best friend? Am I going to upset my husband because he doesn't want me to be attractive to other men? What happens if I get out of this bad marriage because I am now attractive to other men and I can go out and I'm going to hurt my children? What about my sister? I've always been the big one, and she's been quite happy with that, and it's going to upset her. So there's that one. How it affects other people, for people pleasers, and most Morbidly obese people are people pleasers to some greater or lesser extent, really will stop you in your tracks. The other one is what I call I'm too sexy, and it is a similar, well, not similar, but sort of thing, the same as I said before. A lot of people will have some sexual trauma in their life. Now, I'm not saying it's like massive sexual trauma like child abuse or something, but something even little that can have happened to them at some time, like an uncle that used to pat them on the bum when they walked past. Something as simple as that can set them off feeling uncomfortable about their body image and feeling like they want to shrink and they don't want to be visible. And the very best way of doing that is to get big, because I won't attract as much attention, because the irony is the bigger we are, the less visible we seem. So if anybody's resonating with any of this again, let me know in the comments, because I read every single one and I repeat to every single one I reply to. So yeah, so you know what will happen. And also a lot of people suffer from, if I'm looking sexy, I'm not going to be able to trust myself. I'm going to go out and be promiscuous, and I'm not supposed to do that. I won't be able to trust what I can do with my new body, and I won't be able to trust how I relate to that. So that's another one. So those are two that we talked about last week. So this week we're going to talk about the other two. So they're what I call how am I going to cope, and I don't deserve it because I'm not good enough. So first of all, how will I cope? So what does that mean? Well, that means, what am I going to be losing? What will it mean to my life? So this is a fear of taking away the crutch that you've had, and it's a very big one. Nearly every time I talk to a prospective coaching client, this comes up. We talk about self-sabotage, the pain they're in, their secret eating, binge eating, how they hate themselves for it. And I always ask them, how much do you really want this? And every one of them says at least 100%. Then when the time comes for the coaching to start, 100 excuses come up. Oh, can I change the date? Or I've just got enough money this month. Can we make it a month later? I've decided I'm going on holiday. I've got to work late that night. And then when we break it down, it nearly always comes down to the fear of success. And that sounds crazy because I'm saying the fear of success. How can we be fearful of success? So what will happen if I am successful? What is going to change, and how am I going to cope with the new me? And how will I cope without what I know now? Because quite often, even if that change brings us better things, the fear of the change can stop us from wanting to get there. Does that make any sense to anybody? I think somebody's put, that was me for sure. My grandfather was dead on. Yes, it turned to me sleeping around but wanting to feel loved. Yeah, Shelley, that's a really big one as well. You know, it's about wanting love, and often we can equate love with sex because it feels intimate. It's closeness we're wanting. We're wanting intimacy, but we actually don't know any other way of getting that. And if our self-worth is really low, we will then not believe that we deserve it. That comes on to the next thing about not deserving it. So we'll give ourselves away because we just want any intimacy at all. So I can completely understand, and I've heard that from many clients. So going back to the how will I cope. So you know, a list. The thing is to make a list of things of what is it that you're worried about when you get the weight, when you lose the weight. You know, what am I worried about? So a few of mine were, I'm going to have to become responsible. People might expect more of me. I might have to show up. I can't use the weight as an excuse anymore, because I used to use it as excuses all the time for, oh, I don't feel very well, I won't go on that walk, I'm feeling my knees are a bit bad, or you know, you can't expect me to do that the size I am. I won't have my dummy, my sweets, my sucker, my chocolate, and the things that I have used to soothe me over the years. What's going to happen when you take that away? Because I don't know any other way to handle life without that. It's just really frightening for me. And again, I'm going to expect, people will expect more of me, or I'm going to expect more of myself, because I've got all these dreams. And what happens if I can't make them a reality? What happens if when I lose the weight, the dreams don't come true with it? And what am I going to do then? What happens if I don't succeed? What happens if I don't get it right? And I'm one of those very few people that weight loss surgery doesn't work for. So we all have these fears. Now what we need to do is to write a list of what they all mean, but then we put the positive next to them. So I'd like you to go away and do that after this video. So you write the list of things that I've just said, like I'm going to have to be responsible. People expect more of me. They will want me to do things. They expect me to show up. And then at the side of it, we write a list of things that are the positive of that. So, for example, I've put I'll have to be responsible. So the positive of that could be, if I'm responsible, I'm going to be more useful to the world. And I've always wanted people to need me, feel more useful. But maybe they don't because they don't think I'm responsible. So that's surely got to be a good thing. I've put, I'll have to show up in life. So I've put, if I show up, I'll be more visible. I'm more able to attract much better opportunities in my life. If I hide away from the world, how does the world know I'm there? How am I going to get these amazing opportunities? Because this journey is not just about changing your size, it's about changing your whole life. If you get this right, everything is possible to you. Your whole life will change. Your relationships, your job, everything can change because of this journey if you work on this stuff at the same time. So I can't use weight as an excuse anymore. I put, why do I need an excuse for living my very best life? If I'm living my best life, I ain't going to want no damn excuses to get up in the morning and get on with it. I'm going to want to live it. The only reason why I want excuses now is because I don't like what I've got. I'm not happy where I am. Not now, I'm not talking about me, but you or people, you know, I'm not happy at the beginning of our journey where we are. So I want excuses to stay in bed. I want excuses to stay behind doors because I don't feel like I want to live the life I've got. But when I'm living my very best life, I don't want any blinking excuses. I'm out there. I won't have my dummy. Now this was an interesting one. When I was rephrasing this, I was thinking, well, what could I don't need chocolate. Well, actually, I do. And I do enjoy chocolate. And I do enjoy biscuits and I enjoy an appropriate amount. And the appropriate amount is, I am now an adult. I'm not a 6-year-old child. I don't need a dummy to make me feel better if I hurt myself because I'm an adult. So I need to be responsible and grow up. And all of this is about doing that. And I don't have to, I've put people will expect more of me or they'll expect more of myself. I don't have to do anything that I don't want to do. But I might want to do more as my life has been on hold. Bring it on. And that for me was really powerful when I wrote that down, because I've done all of these exercises I asked you guys to do. I don't ask you to do anything that I haven't done myself, because that's how I know they work, because that's what I did to get where I've got. That's all I can do, is to help you to get where I've got by telling you what I did and to guide you through that if you want me to in a one-to-one or a group coaching situation. But some of this stuff I'd share with you, you can do it yourself. You may not be able to get as deep with it, but you still can get somewhere, and it may be enough to heal you, to help you. So if you write down the list of things that you feel are getting in your way, if you like, or how am I going to cope, and then write down the positive slant on that. If I do change this, if I do become responsible, if I do show up, what is that going to mean to me in my life? What can I get out of that? And as long as we make that reason to do it much bigger than the reason not to, then you're going to want to do it. You won't lose that motivation. Now, if you're at maintenance stage, it's like, what reasons have I got not to stay like this? You know, so what have I got already out of my life that I didn't have before? And I do this on a regular basis. What do I have now that I didn't have before? And am I prepared to lose that? Am I prepared to go back to where I was before? Hell no. I am not. And I make myself remember that pain, because I will tell myself what I've got now, what I didn't have before. And I kept my diary of the pain points. So that's another thing. If you're starting off in your journey, write down all the things that you hate about your size and your life as it is now, to remind you of, when you look back, if you're having a wobble, do I want to go back there? Because that is a choice for all of us. We can choose that if we wish to. But I don't wish to. I don't want to choose that. I want to choose to stay where I am. In fact, if I'm being honest, I'd like to lose another half a stone now, because I did put a little bit back on. But you know what? If I stay where I am now, I'm quite happy with that as well. Another half a stone would be quite nice. But I'm not going back there. That was too painful. And the life I have now is infinitely better. So, the next one is, I don't deserve it. I am not good enough. Is anybody still with me? Maxine, are you here? I can see Maxine's come on. Shelley, do I have anybody, or have I bored you all to death today? Okay. So, I don't deserve it. I'm not good enough. So what you need to do with this one is, you know, look at what you're not good enough for. Where did this come from? What told you you don't deserve to have, excuse me, your very best life? To be slim, to be loved, to be happy. Where did you get that from? Who told you that? Or where did you find that? Because finding out the first realisation of this is really important. And then going back to that time and reframing that situation and giving that, usually it's in childhood, that smaller version of you, what they needed at that time, is how we heal this. So for example, mine, if you remember, was when my father told me he didn't want to be here anymore. And then he went on to commit suicide 2 years later. But him telling me that I don't want to be here anymore, I don't want to live to an old man, told me in no uncertain terms that I was not good enough. Because if I was, why would he want to leave me? In my 10-year-old mind, it just wasn't, you know, why would I do that? Why would he do that if I was good enough? If I was good enough, my daddy, who I adored, would want to stay with me. He wouldn't want to leave, because I didn't understand an adult world. I didn't understand that adults have other things in them other than me. You know, when I was that age, the only thing that was in his life was me. It must be my fault. It must be because I'm not good enough. And he's died. You know, he died 30 odd years ago, but he still stays with me. And what we have to do is to be our own parent and our very best friend, and go back to that young child and reframe it. This is much easier with the help of a coach or a counsellor, but you can try to do it on your own. You can sort of go back and say the words that small child would have preferred to hear, you know, like telling her that she is good enough, that daddy was poorly, that he had an illness and it wasn't my fault, and then realising that belief that I have had all that time is not serving me well now. It's getting in the way of my very best life. And it's time to let it go. Bless you, Rachel. Yeah, doesn't have to be for weight loss surgery, people. This is for everybody, you know. Everybody does think that, you know, they all have these limiting beliefs, this self-sabotage, emotional eating for a lot of us. You know, it's an extreme level when we get to the stage where we have to have weight loss surgery. But all of this stuff, Rachel, can work with anybody who is struggling with self-sabotage, eating too much, binge eating, emotional eating. My training was in eating disorder therapy, so you know that's where most of this is, a bit along with NLP. So you know I've just adapted it for weight loss surgery people, but it works for everybody. So so one exercise is I say to people to do this self-sabotage, because going right back to last week, I said we can look at your emotional eating, we can look at your core beliefs, we can look at those drivers for emotional eating, like your pleasure center drivers, your association drivers. We can look at the human needs, like the need for love, the need for comfort, all of that. But if you're not got your big why there, your motivation is bigger to do it, is not bigger than your motivation for staying where you are, you ain't got a hope in hell. So you've got to get this self-sabotage stuff right first before you can do anything. So what I say is the very best way to do this, and I'm going to give you some exercises next week, but to start this exercise, what I want you to do is to list as many reasons as you can for and against. Okay, so on one side I want you to write the reasons for losing the weight, what that you will get from that. So I've put things like lovely clothes, feeling sexy, feeling free, feeling confident, being visible, being more successful. And then on the other side, I want you to write the reasons why you think you may not want to lose the weight. Dig deep. So I've put, I'm going to spend too much money. I might get some unwanted attention. I won't have any excuses anymore. If I'm invisible, it means there's no expectations of me. And success means more visibility. I've put and then if I'm visible means that I'm open to criticism more. Being fat is an excuse for rejection. What if that rejection, what if it's me that they don't like? So I can always make an excuse, well, the reason they rejected was because I was fat. But if I'm not fat anymore and they reject me, then they're rejecting me, and that is really painful. And jealousy from others, I put on there. So any reasons you've got from those 4 categories or any others for your self-sabotage, you write on the other side. And then what you've got to do is you think about them. Shut your eyes and think about, how's it going to feel to have lovely clothes? On a scale of 0 to 10, you go, how good does that feel? And I've put a 6, okay? How good does it feel to feel sexy? And there was a bit of fear around this for me, so I put a 3. I think it'd be positive, but there's a little bit of fear about it, because there might be some expectation of me somewhere along the line if I feel sexy, and I'm quite comfortable with that, so that was a 3. How good does it feel for me to feel free? Amazing. Amazing. Free from the chatter of food and all that calorie counting and should I eat this, should I not eat that? Guilt. Amazing. That was a definite 10. So I went down that list, and then I went to the other side and I went on the list. Spending too much. How uncomfortable does that feel for me? A 4. It's not that uncomfortable. In fact, I quite like spending money. It's a feel uncomfortable if I put myself in a zone where I put myself in debt. Unwanted attention, well, that's a bit like with the feel sexy thing, perhaps, unwanted attention. How uncomfortable does that make me feel? Well, I do quite like a bit of attention. I can be a bit of a flirt sometimes, but I'm not really happy with unwanted attention, so that's an 8. And then I've put things like being fat is an excuse for rejection. What if it's not the fat, it's me? That could be a 50 for me, but I've only got a scale of 0 to 10, so that was a 10. That was a big one. Jealousy from others, that was an 8. I don't like upsetting other people, so if I think somebody else is upset by what I do, I find that very difficult to deal with. And then those numbers, add them up on either side. So we've got to get rid of some of the limiting beliefs on the right hand side, because they're getting in the way of your success. But if the number on the right side is higher than the number on the left, and if it's significantly higher on the number on the left, you are in self-sabotage, without a doubt. And until we can get rid or reduce the intensity of some of those reasons why you may be uncomfortable about losing the weight, then you are very likely to keep sabotaging your success, regardless of how you lose the weight, whether it be weight loss surgery, diet and exercise, whatever. So it's so important that you do this exercise, because then next week we'll talk about how to break through all of those reasons, or what I call limiting beliefs, because they are just beliefs. They're not real. They are not real. They are just your beliefs. And a belief is only a thought that you've thought over and over again until it becomes a belief. It starts with a thought once, and then you think it again, then you think it again, then you think it again, think it again. Before you know it, it's become your belief system, part of your model of the world, what you believe. It is entirely possible to change that. Entirely possible. But we need to know what those beliefs are. So, and how strong those beliefs are, how strong that belief system is. So I want to help you next week to try and get rid of some of those. So we're going to have a look at how you can trash all those limiting beliefs on the right side of your list, or certainly significantly reduce them to begin with. But you need to do this work. So I want you to do your list, take a photo of it and send it to me, or even better, put it in here, or put it in the new group that you are going to be invited to by Friday. I promise I have eventually got it to work. So I'm going to invite all of you, if you want me to, and if you don't want to accept the invitation, that's fine, to a new group all about bariatric success and mindset. It is called the Bariatric Success Lounge, where you can come with me, get a cup of coffee, get a cup of tea, a glass of wine, whatever you want, sit down, and we're going to work on this success stuff. So the mindset, the strategy, we do a bit of accountability to each other's in there, and I'll post videos, lives, tips, ideas, and we can work together on this stuff. Now, if you want to join, let me know either by private message or on this video, and I will add you. I may add some people unsolicited, I'm sorry, but it's only because I have a real belief and feeling that you will want to join. If you don't, just ignore it. It's absolutely fine. It's totally free to join. It's just to help you to be as successful as you possibly can. If anybody is interested in doing some live coaching with me, drop me a PM as well, because this stuff's great, but it is so much better when it's done alongside somebody who can help you and you know, work you through all of this stuff and help to bring out some of those limiting beliefs that you may not be aware of yourself. I had a coaching client today. I was working with her and she said, I have got absolutely no reason whatsoever for keeping this weight on. I've been told loads of times that there must be a reason and I've got no idea what it was. And by the time we'd done 2 coaching sessions, I think we'd got 3 or 4 really big reasons uncovered as to why she was keeping the weight and the eating behaviour the way it was. So sometimes you may not be aware of what they are. You might need some help to do that. So yeah, so if you're interested and you want to work with me, drop me a line, let me know, and yeah, I will see you all next week. I'm just listening. I'm just looking to see what people are saying. I've gained over dress size and feel like I like food too much. So yeah, we all like food. But what we have to do is we've got to work out what we prefer, what's more important to us. Being healthy, being happy, living longer, feeling good about ourselves, or eating the food. And again, it's about making that list of things that we really want in our life that the weight will stop us from having stronger than that. Keep eating that bit of cheese or that bar of chocolate or whatever it might be, Kit Kat, you know. And it's not easy. I'm not going to tell you it's easy. It isn't. It's, you know, obesity is an illness. It's a lifetime illness. And we have to be constantly vigilant, just like you would if you had diabetes. You've got to be constantly vigilant, but we can do it. And together we can do it even better because we can work together on this stuff and we can help. It's not a perfection thing. It's about progress. It's about every day making a little bit of progress. And allowing ourselves to forgive ourselves if we have days where we don't, but getting straight back on, not waiting for Monday mornings like it always used to be. You know, you can start your day anytime you want. You don't have to start again on Monday morning. You can start again at 7 o'clock at night if you like. But it's within our remit. It is entirely possible for every one of you. And I want to help you do it. Okay, guys, I'm going to go off now and I will see. God, next week, I can't believe how much grey I've got. See you next week, and I'll invite you to my group. Lots of love. Take care. Bye.